Welcome back to UK Railvids. Today we're taking a journey far away from the UK railway network. We're talking about an adventure that took Britain's finest train. We're talking about the Pacer. I meant Britain's worst train all the way across the Atlantic. This is the story of a Class 142 Pacer spending its 1986 summer in Canada. To understand this curious chapter in rail history, let's quickly recap what exactly the Class 142 Pacer is. Originally built between 1985 and 1987, these units were made to be an affordable stopgap for Britain's ageing rolling stock. Essentially, these were buses on rails, literally built using bus parts, intended to serve regional lines with low passenger numbers. Their simple design, famously bumpy ride, and lack of comfort features earned them a bit of a rather mixed reputation in the UK. But how do they fare overseas? The Pacer's Canadian adventure started in 1986, when Class 142, unit number 142049, was shipped out of Britain, destined for the Expo 86 in Vancouver, Canada. Expo 86 was a bold fair with a theme of transportation and communication, with it being the perfect place to showcase different transport solutions from around the globe. The Pacer was part of an exhibition meant to demonstrate, I quote, innovative rail technology and lightweight transit solutions for less densely populated areas. During the Expo event, a temporary station was constructed in Abbotsford, with multiple daily services running to New Westminster over the summer period. The Pacer had to undergo some light modifications in order to be allowed to run on Canadian rails. These included the installation of radio equipment and ditch lights, essential for operation on Canadian tracks. Additionally, the unit was also designated RB100 for radar identification purposes during its time across Canada. During the Expo, the event was also displayed at Vancouver's Pacific Central Station, attracting curiosity from attendees of the event. Its boxy design and bus-like features certainly stood out amongst the more conventional trains on display. The idea was to see whether this lightweight unit could offer a cost-effective solution for passenger services on lower demand lines in Canada, with British Rail hoping to use the event as a jumping-off board into the pool of worldwide sales. After the Expo, the 142 was tested by BC Rail in British Columbia. This was a railway operator known for scenic routes through challenging terrain. The Pacer was also trialled with Via Rail, running along the British Columbia Railroad. However, these experiments didn't go as well as hoped. The ride quality was noticed to be harsh, along with a sluggish performance on the steeper gradients. The unit also struggled with comfort, and there were challenges adapting to the North American standards for health and safety rules at the time. Knowing the accidents the Pacer would later be involved in, I'm not really surprised it didn't meet the safety standards. Ultimately, BC Rail and Via Rail decided against keeping the unit, and it was shipped back to the UK in 1987. Back in Britain, 142049 continued its duty on regional lines until its eventual retirement, allocated to Newton Heath Depot for all its 32 years. It covered the northwest, operating for regional railways under British Rail, then post-privatisation working for Mersey Travel and then Northern Rail, until it was withdrawn at the end of 2019. The unit was placed into storage east of Leeds, with 142049 being scrapped at EMR Kingsbury Scrapyard, just south of Tamworth at the end of January 2020, bringing the end to this infamous Pacer. So while the Class 142 may have not found a second home across the Atlantic, it's worth taking note that the Pacer family is more well-travelled than you think, with another Class 142 having a stint in Belgium, while other Pacer classes have been to America and even former BR Class 141s working in Iran until they rusted away. Had the Canadians taken on the Pacer, then this little train's history could have been far different. However, that's a timeline I'd rather not think about. Today, there are several operational Class 142s in preservation across the UK, with Unit 142001 even being part of the National Collection at the National Railway Museum in Shildon. Thanks for joining us on this unusual adventure involving the Pacer. If you like this story, why not check out our video about HSTs working in Mexico, or the Class 319 going through the Channel Tunnel into France. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.